you're planting corn on your farm, you're probably thinking, why can't I just plant one hybrid, find the best one, and plant that everywhere and be successful? Well, of course, if you planted corn more than 1 year, you know there isn't a perfect corn hybrid out there, and you generally have to plant a few just to meet the needs of your various fields. But I'm going to talk to you today, and Brian will talk to you as well, about why diversifying your corn play and putting more hybrids on the farm could make a lot of financial sense for you.
Well, here's the whole thing. Darren and I look at corn hybrids all the time. Darren much more than me. But neither one of us can even come close to picking what's going to for sure be the winner this next year among, let's call it, 100 different genetics choices we have in our maturity range. So out of that 100, can we get in the top 10%? Maybe. Can we get in the top 20%? Maybe. Can we get in the top 50%? Probably, yeah. You see where I'm going with this. Nobody can pick the winners, so why are we trying so hard? If you look at last year and last year's winners, the one thing we can promise you about the weather coming into this year is it's going to be different. We just don't know how it's going to be different, but a good example, I was talking earlier in the show about 2019 versus 2020. Well, in 2019, all planting was delayed. We had nothing but rain, rain, rain all through the season. 2020, we planted super early, got everything in early. Then it turned cold for a month. Then late in the summer, we completely dried out. We had virtually no rain for 3 months and super hot temps. So 2 totally different years. We need 2 totally different hybrids.
Well, the other thing that you mentioned there, Brian, is the term maturity range. What is the best maturity to plant on your farm? Now, you may say, on our farm, 105-day corn year in and year out is probably going to be the best, and that's fine if you look at a 10-year average. But some years, we were better off planting 100-day corn. Some years, we maybe could have taken advantage of 110-day corn. So you want to plant a range and plant some hybrids from each of those classes. That way, if you do happen to get heat at the wrong time, it's not going to hurt you on the whole farm. For example, this year, the 105-day corns, well, we saw a little bit of tip back because we had some 100-degree temperatures and dry weather right when they were trying to pollinate.
Also, you have to be realistic about your situation. For example, if you're a farmer in North Dakota, you might say, well, I want to plant 82-day corn because it yields a little more than the 75-day corn. But look, if 75-day corn is going to make it and 82 is a little questionable, I'm not saying don't plant any 82, but you got to plant some 75 so you know you're going to have something that's going to be real dry and higher test weight, and you can blend those things off if you want to. Also, it could be the flip side where you have a super long growing season and you say, well, the 105-day corns yielded just as good as the 115, so I'll just plant the 105 and finish harvest way early. Well, when you finish harvest way early, you might actually have to seed a cover crop to get something growing out there. Why not make corn your cover crop? Have a longer day corn and plant early, harvest late, and now you had something growing out there for the entire season and accomplished everything that a cover crop would do, and you didn't have to spend the money or take the time to plant the cover crop.
One other purpose planting multiple hybrids serves is disease protection. When you think about it, there's a new disease problem that pops up every 5 or 10 years in the country. Lately it's been tar spot. We're hearing a lot more about physoderma now, and who knows what the next thing will be. Well, guess what? If you ask any seed corn company out there, hey, what's your best hybrids for tar spot protection? They've got a few. And if you say, well, how about physoderma protection? They may have a couple, but chances are those aren't the same hybrids. So you're probably going to have to say, okay, here I need to plant a little bit of this in case I get some tar spot, a little bit of this in case I get some physoderma, a little bit of that in case I get some gosses, or in case I get some gray leaf spot. You can see where I'm going here. Having multiple hybrids out there spreads your risk. So if something does come in that's unexpected, at least you're not going to get hit on every hybrid.
But let's say that it's something that happens every year. Like, let's say you raise nothing but corn, you have gosses wilt in every single field. Well, that should be the first selection you make. Find something that's great on that, and then spread a range of maturities, and maybe then spread a range of traits also. So for example, where we have a lot of corn rootworms, we're going to plant Smart Stacks. Where we don't, we're just going to plant VT Double. You might just want to plant conventional in some fields that are super clean, no bugs, nothing. All I'm getting at here is we really encourage you to spread the risk when it comes to maturity, spread the risk when it comes to planting multiple varieties, because again, if we're just simply looking at, oh, last year's winners. We're going to plant those? No way, never works. It's very common when last year's winners are this year's losers and vice versa.
Well, planting multiple corn hybrids serves a lot of purposes to help protect your farm, and in any of those corn hybrids, you should be able to control our Weed of the Week. We'll show you how to stop this weed later in the show.